So, hey guys, today we are going to be talking about what if World War III actually happened? What if it happened? We're not gonna do a whole simulation like, oh, which countries would lose, which countries would win. We are going to see who would be aligned with who, and that's how it's gonna basically be. That is how we're gonna do it. So easily starting off with the United States, Canada, not Iceland. Whoa, wait a second. United Kingdom, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Bulgaria, Turkey, Romania, Hungary, Czechia, and Slovakia, along with Slovenia, Croatia, Greece, and I think that would be about it. I think that would be it. I think I think Albania's in NATO. Is Albania in NATO? Let me do a quick research. All right, so Albania is in NATO. I think Montenegro is I think North Macedonia would also join. See, now this would be the NATO map for the entire. This would be the U.S.'s allies. NATO, obviously, Canada, Greenland, basically everyone in NATO. You've got it. But we have to add a little certain country. Ukraine. Obviously, Ukraine is in a war with Russia. And this is where things start to get funny. Obviously, Russia would have to be part of this war. Same thing with Belarus. I do believe the CSTO would be involved as well in the war. Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. I believe those are the nations in the CSTO. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do think they are. I think I might have made a mistake, but I do think that those are the nations in the CSTO. Also, obviously, China. But here's where things get interesting. Obviously, China is pursuing in trying to get Taiwan. They obviously want to reunite China with Taiwan, and they're not going to give up very easily. They're not going to give up. Which leads me to my next thing. I don't think at all that World War III will start in Europe, but World War III, in my humble prediction, will start in Asia. It's going to start in Asia. Taiwan will be the center. South Korea, Japan, Australia, the Philippines, Vietnam will all align with Taiwan to help defend it. Again, I don't think Indonesia joins just yet. I do think maybe if this war were to actually happen, yes, they would join. But Indonesia has so many close ties with China that it would be very difficult for me to put it against China, which is why I'm not putting it. And obviously, we couldn't end it off if we didn't add a certain country. Iran. See, with Iran, this is the big problem here. Is we don't know. We obviously don't know when World War III is going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know why it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. World War III will happen eventually. But I don't think, here's the thing. I have a very, very, I want to say unique prediction. I don't think World War III will have nuclear bombs involved. I don't think so. What I think World War III will be a very costly war, yes, on ground and by air, but I do think the war will mostly be how long can the people of both sides last? How long is morale going to last? How long is everything compacted going to last? That is the main issue that we are, you know, we're dealing with here. That is the main issue. That is what is really going to affect. I think it's going to be high prices. Like gasoline's going to skyrocket, food's going to skyrocket. I do think World War III will be a test for the will of the people. How long are the people willing to last under this brutal war? That is what World War III is going to be in my prediction. Do I think India joins on the side of NATO? I don't know. Could India take advantage and try to get some territory out of China while China's fighting in the Pacific region? Obviously, they could. But the thing is, there's no point. There's honestly no point in fighting a war with China. With at least if you're India, there's no point. Really, there's no point. Because in this area that you see right here, oh, in this area, it is very this entire area, this entire area, even if India wanted to go through Nepal, it's so pointless. India really can only pick a war with Pakistan. I mean, like it's so it's too many mountains. Thousands of people will die just on the trip alone. Not even fighting. Troops will die because, not even because of the fighting, they will die because of the trip to try and get to China. This is too mountainous terrain over here. And again, it would be very difficult for China to move in against Vietnam because obviously Vietnam is used to fighting in the jungle like they did in the Vietnam War in the 60s and when China invaded in 1979. I believe it was, or was it 1980? I do believe it was around that timeline when China invaded. China got embarrassed and they were forced back. So realistically, I think here in Vietnam at least in Vietnam, it will be a war of attrition. It'll be a war of attrition, and I do see that there's a feature that show rivers and lakes, and I don't want it to show. This makes me mad, but I do see there's ability to see rivers and lakes. Again, it would be difficult, but I also do believe that North Korea would join in. Let me explain to you. There's a perfect opportunity here. South Korea is distracted with Taiwan, at least that's the North Korean point of view. But what I truly believe that South Korea would be planning is for North Korea to attack. That way, if something goes wrong against the North Korean invasion and the South Koreans push in, that's a big problem for China because now this is exposed to Japan and South Korea. And Russia's not going to come and help you because it's too much land. Most of Russia's infrastructure is located in this area, this particular western area, not all the way over here. Obviously, they have military bases over here, but it's not even close. It's not even remotely close to help support China. It wouldn't even be close. Again, I don't know how. I can't see the future, obviously. But I truly, truly, truly believe that if World War III were to happen, this is how I think it would first play out. If this is how I believe it would truly first play out for um for the entire world, for NATO, for Europe, for Europe, for Asia, and I do think Europe and Asia will be the two main frontiers. But again, it's not gonna be like World War II. It's not gonna be full on head on invasion. It's gonna be kind of like World War One, but just more modern, way more modern than World War One, especially because AI is gonna be used in war. More advanced technologies. I saw a video about the U.S. developing some type of tic tac. I don't know what it was, but it looks stupid, and I like it. I don't know what it's called. But again, it's not going to be like World War II, obviously. It's not going to be like these other previous wars. And maybe I'll do a video. Actually, no. Let's do a part two. Let's do a part two. Have a great day. Part two coming tomorrow on Saturday. Have a great day. Love y'all. Have a good day.